Good morning. Happy Monday. Peace and blessings. How everybody doing? Monday's the day that is governed by the moon. And the moon today is in the final stages of being in Scorpio. And when I checked, it was at 24 degrees, which is the degree of humility. But I really want to talk about, because it's important that everyone who's in this community with me, whether you visit here daily or every now and again, first of all, I want to say that I've been doing videos every day. For whatever reason, they're not showing up on my timeline. But if you go look in my IGTV, you can find the videos that I've done in the past few days. But healing, my intention for being here is to assist us in learning how to take personal responsibility for everything that's going on inside of us, so that we can heal it and transmute it into what feels more desirable or in alignment with who we're here to be. And we are living through what is called like a revelatory experience. The old paradigm is dying and the new paradigm is being erected simultaneously. And what it's doing it inside of us, right? It's the change has to happen in you. Like Gandhi said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. So when you do the inner work, you're changing the world, because the world that we see externally comes from inside. Everything we see, every building, every piece of clothing, every car, every chair, every sofa, everything came from somebody's mind. It's an internal thing. So when we change our internal world, we can then change our external world. So everything externally is already dead, so to say. It doesn't have life anymore. And so that's why we're ending an old paradigm and birthing a new one. And if we pay attention, the media will make fun of stuff, but it's because they don't understand. This is an energetic thing. The energy on the planet is changing, and so when the energy changes, we have to change along with it. So we are in a moon day. The moon is the energy that governs the mother and the feminine. The moon is also the energy that rules Cancer, and the sun is in Cancer. And so as I have been doing this work to heal around my family, this noise, I feel so pissed off about that. But as I have been doing the work to heal around my family, because Cancer is your family. Cancer is the feminine lineage through your family. I am noticing the places in my life where I give myself to the masculine just because, where I don't empower myself because, my conditioning and my purview is that the male frequency has more value. It's the way we call God a man and not a woman. It's the way men make all the decisions and have historically and run everything. It's the way that women couldn't buy property without their father's signature or husband's signature up until the 70s. Like there is an internal thing. Like I said, it all happens inside of us. So I feel myself releasing those deep-seated beliefs that I need somebody to like validate me, to affirm me. I need a man to affirm me, and that in and of myself, I'm not enough. And so what I've been doing is looking to see where that was in my family structure. Where does that behavior show up in my family conditioning? Where are the women in my life and my family not able to fully live their lives based upon only what they desire and what they think? Not needing to take care of children or needing to please their parents or needing to look good for people, but really a core thing of, what is it that I think and feel? What is it that I want? If nobody else was here, what would I do? I used to have this writing teacher, maybe I said this yesterday, and she would always say, write like everyone you love is dead. Write like everyone you love is dead. And that sounds really harsh, but when I think about it, it's like, live my life like everyone I love is dead. Because one of the things that I've discovered, not having a mother and not having a father, is I don't have to answer to anybody. I don't need permission to live my life and be who I'm here to be. I actually get to do things on my own terms. And I have created other authorities in my mind that says, oh, I need this person's permission, whether it be my ex-husband or my, friends or in-laws or any of that. But it's like, really, what if I didn't need anybody else's permission? And what I see that in my family. I see that the women in my family do things because they feel obligated. I see that the women in my family take care of one another and show up in ways that it's not pure out of their desire to actually do it, which is fine, but it's out of obligation because they're skipping over what they actually need. So they're doing something because, like in my family, oh, such and such is in jail, they need to be bailed out. And even if you need your money for something else, you're going to give it to that person because they're in jail, and you feel obligated to do it, right? Or, even if it's something like, when I was young, my grandmother sent me to college and all of that, and I'm grateful that she did those things, but did she really want to do them, or did she feel like she had to because she was my grandmother? And not to, like I said, I don't want to take away anything. I'm just looking at these perspectives of the feminine while the sun is in Cancer from every direction so that I can begin to make new pathways in my life. We're moving into a full moon in Aquarius, which is going to happen at the end of the week. And Aquarius is about abandoning the conventional ways of being. Aquarius is about rebelling against the matriarchal patterns. So the ways, like I was talking with a friend of mine, and we were recognizing that in both of our families, the women had experienced betrayal through love, and so the mother experienced it, the grandmother experienced it, the great-grandmother experienced it. And so how do we abandon the belief systems that create those experiences of betrayal? It's not like your husband betrayed you because he's a bad guy. It's like there's an energy in the space that was seeded and incubated that created the experience of the husband that is really anchored in self-betrayal, right? So when we do things out of obligation, when we do things because we feel like we have to, when we do things and we're not fully invested in it, it's a way that we're betraying ourselves. I once had a prayer partner, and she's still a very good friend of mine, and I started her locks, and she would say, and her hair was really straight. She was a black woman with this really curly hair that I couldn't lock easily. And she would say, if you feel obligated to do this or frustrated by it, then don't do it. And so I remember releasing all of the obligation and the frustration, and then just talking to her hair and saying, I know what you're capable of. I know you're capable of locking. I know you're capable of being what she wants you to be. And in that, because I was able to open my heart and let go of the obligation and the frustration, her hair locked. And so this is the power that we get to bring ourselves back to. This is what I mean when I say I'm here to support us in our healing, because we want to really look at how we as women under the sun of Cancer, how we have created and given birth to the reality as it currently is. And if most women are doing things out of obligation and they don't feel joyful or happy in their hearts, or like their needs are being met first and foremost, right? If like that their cup is overflowing, then we will have a world filled with resentment because, maybe your mother wasn't really in love when she was pregnant. Maybe your grandmother was, married to a man who wasn't really present with her. But and when we blame the people rather than understanding that those things come from inside of us, because we're not really present with ourselves, we're not really loving ourselves, we're not really honoring ourselves. So then we create on the external world experiences that mirror exactly what's going on with us internally. But because we don't think of ourselves high enough, we don't see the correlation. We think ourselves victims. So while this moon is moving into Aquarius, and it's at the 24th degree of Scorpio when I check, that's really understanding, taking a deeper meaning and seeing how all the things in your life are connected, seeing how you are the center of everything in your life, seeing how you have been the generator of all the things that are going on in your life, and that you're not a victim to anything. And while the moon is in Scorpio, it's literally asking you to look for the deeper meaning. Look for the deeper meaning in everything that you do, because you are creating it. And if you're willing to give yourself the permission to be courageous, to face your fears, to take responsibility, really to take responsibility. And it is not easy to take responsibility from the mindsets that we've been conditioned in the Western world, because the Western world is built on blame and predator behavior and shame. And so we carry so much shame and so much obligation. And so you have to really be able to name it inside of yourself. You have to really be able to say, oh, I feel ashamed right now, right? And then, oh, well, why do I feel ashamed? What's really going on? You know, it's like yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine, and in the conversation I was realizing that I didn't want to, I just felt some resistance. And when we got off the phone, in the past I would have just been like, ew, like this person is getting on my nerves. But I said, what is it that you're feeling? And I checked in and I was like, oh, I feel dominated. I feel like this person dominates my energy. Oh, okay, well, where is that from? And then immediately I was like, oh, that's from my father. My father used to dominate my mother, and that energy got seated inside of me. So I still experience times when I feel dominated by other people, because that's seated inside of me. Oh, okay, so I feel dominated because that was what my father was. Okay, so, and then it takes me to like, oh, the women in my family, this is a thing in my family with the women where we feel like we have to do things. Something outside of us is dominating us, taking our power, insisting that we be a certain way. And so I just sort of looked at it. It was like, oh, okay, I see it. Like, you know, because of somebody out there, I feel like I can't be myself. And that's where the healing happens. So with that, I encourage you to sign up for the Jupiter retrograde class in Aquarius. This is how we're going to really become to find our power. The Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, really taking your personal authority back and really becoming true to yourself, not aligning with ideas that are not true to you through obligation, really breaking away from the patterns that your mother set for you that are no longer serving us, because the planet is changing. We can't be the same. And then finally, the Capricorn, the Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, which is about power. And we need power to do all of this. If we don't have power, if you don't have personal power, understand how your power works, then you can't make any of the changes that you want to make. So with that, I'm the Moon Mama. Peace and blessings. I love you all. Bye-bye.